Hello, and welcome to the Ferret Business Podcast. I am your host, Yemmy the Ferret, aka Yemmy, aka DJ Yemmy. And with me today is a car lover, car fanatic, I guess you would say, by the name of BLP3 Motors, aka Phil. How you doing today, man?
Yemmy, I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
No, not a problem. All his links will be down in the description below, including Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So make sure you check him out in all his social media locations. Was this your first live stream today?
It was my first live stream. I was testing out all of my gear, and I didn't want to thing where I kind of want to be transparent with everybody, and I don't want to assume that I have all my stuff together. So this was the trial and error thing. I mean, and the people that really me showed up, and we had a good calibration session, as I would say.
Yeah, that's always good. Always good. So what kind of equipment are you using for the live streams and or just videos in general? Because the camera quality on the review videos that you've done for like the Jeeps and the cars and stuff like that is really good.
Really thanks, man. Thanks, man. Yeah, I got you. So, okay, so where do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the live stream setup, or do you want to start with what I do with the Jeep review videos, or just review videos in general?
Yeah, let's start with the review videos, because that's kind of where the channel started, with reviewing your car that you had. And then going into the new stuff.
Okay, so when I did start the channel a year ago, so we just celebrated our year YouTube-versary on February 1st. But what I did was I started with my DSLR camera, actually. So I have a Canon 70D, and I ended up getting a or whatever you want to call it, like a 3 suction cup car mount. And so what I ended up doing was I would, in the car, I would put the suction mounts up, and then I would hang the camera upside down. And then I would also have a Rode, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's a video mic R plus. So it was like a $300 mic. So I wanted to make sure sound quality was always good in the car, since the mic wasn't like right up on me. And so that was my setup up until like 2 months ago. But I also was using an iPhone, or I was using a Samsung S9. I kind of like alternated depending on if it was a run and gun situation. So all of that was kind of up until then. And then 2 months ago, I did make a pretty good investment, and I got a GoPro Hero Black 7. And so that's kind of when the 4K, the better resolution stuff started happening, but more so image stabilization. And so one thing that was important to me was that, if I'm in the situations we're walking around and we're detailing things, I didn't want people to have bad quality, and I didn't want people to get dizzy, kind of like looking at the camera trying to follow me around.
Right.
So I wanted to make that investment, and the GoPro Hero Black 7 has been fantastic. And with that, I also ended up getting a lavalier mic. I think I told you a little earlier, but it was the EMT008, and it was like $60-$70. And so, I mean, it's one of those things where I was with the Rode mic, because when I would mount it upside down and the car would get bumpy, it would rattle, and you get rattling because the camera's upside down. Because if it was right side up, you wouldn't get that at all. It would just absorb it, because it's got springs and it's got absorption technology, but not meant to be upside down.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. That sounds like an awesome camera there.
Oh yeah. I love it, and I want more.
So let's start off with BLP3 Motors. What's the meaning behind it, and where did you come up for the idea to start the YouTube channel?
Yeah. So BLP3, or sorry, actually just BLP was my nickname in high school.
Really?
And everyone throughout high school just called me BLP, and it was one of my friends. And it was so random where I just walked up, and he was like, I'm like, what? And I'm like, don't call me that. And he's like, he just kind of shook his head and get Big Luscious Phil. And then my buddy next to him was like, BLP. And then I'm like, don't call me that. And then everybody started calling me that. Like the moment you start getting sensitive in high school about something, it's like overnight, everyone's like BLP. And I kind of just
You just had to accept it.
I accepted my fate,
Yeah.
and so the 3 kind of just brings it all together, in my opinion. The BLP3. Oh, the 3 doesn't mean anything. It's more like icing on the cake. It kind of just finishes the deal. BLP3 just it flows.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking it was for how many cars you had. Huh?
Oh no,
I always have to
it'll.
have 3 cars, or else my brand's not going to work.
Well, maybe the 3 pony cars someday. But to answer the other part of your question, um, for a big YouTube person, like when I didn't watch YouTube like TV, like kind of how it is now, and I didn't watch YouTube for music either. Um, for me, YouTube was like if I need to figure out how to do something, I would look up YouTube a tutorial and then bounce off, and I didn't really care about it.
Hmm.
But in one of those things where like how you like watch something and then you just decide to stay a little longer and then there's a suggested video. So anyway, I was like watching like one of those fail compilations or something like that, and for some reason a car video got suggested, right? And so I just kind of like watched the car video and I'm like, huh, that's interesting. And so I ended up stumbling across like 3 car YouTubers, and then I kind of just ended up like watching them. I've always liked cars. I'm not a gear monkey, so I don't know how to take apart a car and put it
Hmm.
back together. So I don't have that kind of passion, but I'm a car enthusiast where I'm like, that looks cool. I would love to drive it. I love the way it sounds. I love the way it looks, and I love to know more about it. Um, I've had my channel bit of an inkling to be able to do some modifications and kind of know how to work my car or just kind of know how to do stuff to it. So there is that element, but I would never want to like take out my engine myself and then like put it back in. That's just never ever going to happen.
Right. Yeah. It's like just let a dealership or someone take care of that. I'll just mod it out.
Yeah, just take my money. I'll just slap you with a stack of cash and just fix it for me.
So is car modding like a huge thing with you and also with these sports like cars?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because here's the thing, like so, and I live in Oklahoma, and part of that too is depending on your region, there are primary like cars. Like if you're on the West Coast, import cars are kind of the thing. But then if you're in the Midwest, it's the American muscle cars. It's Ford, Chevy, Dodge. Those are like your big staples. And so over here you've got so many of these type of cars that nobody kind of wants to drive down the street with the same car.
Hmm.
And it's like, oh yeah, you got a Mustang. Okay, yeah, another 5.0 Mustang, or another one like that, whatever. Everyone wants to stand out and kind of have their own flair about them. And I actually felt the same thing. So I bought a 2016 Dodge Challenger, right? And it was black on black. It was the first one in town. It was so beautiful. I missed that vehicle so much. But like a month later, after I bought my vehicle, like 5 popped up in my town. And so like I was driving around town, and I'm like, hey, I don't know it's me anymore. There could be like 4 other people, and all our vehicles look the same. So kind of out of that, I'm sure people feel the same, where they want to trick it out, they want to make it cool, they want to stand out.
Hmm.
And so I think that's like the premise. Other than the fact that they like the way it looks, it just kind of gives their car an emulation of themselves, just something unique, something different that makes you special.
So living in Oklahoma, do you have those long stretches of road where you can kind of gun it per se?
Oh, absolutely. But there's two things going for you here. First off, the roads suck here in
Oh.
Oklahoma. Roads suck, and then second off, the OHP is waiting for you around the corner, around a bush, around a hill. They're just there, and they're gonna nail you.
Yeah, because they know.
I mean, they're country boys.
Yeah. Well, have you ever like tried to just go as fast as you can in one of your cars?
Yeah, you could say that. I mean,
I mean,
so I had a
maybe. We don't want to have the Oklahoma police department on you.
sometimes when I used to take the vehicles down to Mexico, that's the lingo. Um, I've been known to step on the gas and kind of just see what it can do.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's the thing. And in the car world, if you're going to be racing cars and doing something like that, you're going down to Mexico. And a lot of times in Oklahoma, Mexico is about 10 minutes away.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, how did you get in touch with the car dealership to do your latest videos?
So I was actually very fortunate. My brother-in-law is a gearhead, and he's working on his own like fourth generation Camaro that he's been modding, and that thing is stupid fast and stupid loud. But one of his friends worked at a dealership here in town, and I got to know that guy. He was a mechanic. And Jason, actually, Jason, the guy who's in my videos,
Mm-hmm.
but he ended up changing his line of career and ended up working at this Dodge dealership. And so one of the things that people don't know is that they're looking for exposure and they're looking to grow on social media. And so he kind of reached out to me, believe it or not. And he was like, "Hey, man, I know that you're doing YouTube and stuff. How about you come and do some videos here at the dealership? You'd help me out and he would help out the dealership and it would just be like a win-win situation." And I'm like, dude, you're like
Like,
me throwing my chi out into the world going like, help me,
mm-hmm.
you know. And it kind of just worked out really well that way. And Landers Dodge has been a invaluable asset, and they've got really cool inventory. And they're my go-to for any Dodge, Jeep, Ram stuff. And they've got cool used cars too. I've been trying to reach out to a few other dealerships, but you kind of get the cold shoulder when you've got less than like 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
People are like, who cares? You know.
A lot of people don't think
then
it's
I
worth
have
their
a
time.
video.
You know, like they go, "Oh, you don't have 1,000 subscribers. Oh, what are we gonna do? What you know?" It's like,
At least 1,000. And so
yeah.
I have a video that's just about 30,000
Ooh.
views on it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of really random. It just went viral. Well, at least for me, that's viral considering my average view is like 100 views on a video. Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I've got a couple videos that have like 10,000 or something like that, but they're from a year ago. It's just weird how like sometimes with the videos that you make, they trickle in. And I guess I'll give you a little insider information here on my stuff since candid. It's like, so with me, with the car videos that I make, 98% of my videos are from non-subscribers.
Mm.
Following the topic, following the cars, and they either don't subscribe or they just kind of like get what they need and leave, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to implement a strategy here to grow with my subscribers and interact with people a little more, which is why I wanted to do that live stream this morning and start doing that. So just have a personal touch and a personal growing that, hey, I'm a real person. I just don't do car views, reviews just like that. I have a channel and there's more to me. Like there's more than one dimension, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, live streaming is a great way to just kind of connect with the audience as a whole. Of course, it helps better. It helps more when people are like there chatting with you, and when they subscribe to you for a car video, they want to come to the live stream. But I think you'll get there because I mean, your views aren't a joke. It's not like you can point at it and go, "Oh, that's funny." 100 views. No, you have videos with well over 10K views, and I'm surprised more people haven't stuck around for because you do like. Let's say you did the 24 or what'd you do, the 2018 Grand Cherokee, and then you did the 2019 Jeep Renegade. It's like, why don't people stick around for that kind of stuff? Because you're doing the same brands and the better cars that come out years and years after.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
And I think you would know this concept too, being a YouTuber as well. But like when you make a video that is basically on topics that other people are also doing as well, you're competing against other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm competing with either a few different sets of people. So you've got your super mainstream car review people who actually get access to the car before public, or they end up going to like the SEMA auto show and they get to do videos and stuff there. So they've got a hookup. And then you've got people that are just bigger YouTubers that like dealerships and stuff will go to first. And then you have people that are smaller like me who get they do their videos as soon as they can get their hands on a vehicle. And look, like geographically, I'm in Oklahoma, so I'm not on a coast, so I'm not by a port of entry.
Mm-hmm.
And so the vehicles get here slower, and so I just kind of have to wait at the whim of a dealership. But when I do make my video is at the bottom of the stack, and so the video, they don't want to watch it again. Just even though they like my personality or something like that. So it's like watching a rerun with a different person that has less of a budget. Like,
Right,
oh, okay, yeah. I'm like your discount YouTuber right now compared to like, the Fast Lane or, all these people who have like crazy budgets and crazy car angles. And I don't even have a drone. I don't have a drone and I have a car channel. It's a candid sin.
Oh my gosh, you got to get that drone, man.
I'm actually working on getting a drone this year. That's one of the things I'm saving for, like one of those Mavic Airs. But people don't know how expensive they are.
Yeah.
They're like $1,000 at least.
But those drones can really give you those nice shots. Like I've watched a few Casey Neistat. He does a lot of videography and stuff like that with drones, and it always makes things look so, I don't know how you want to say it, like spectacular, maybe a little bit more poppin', because you have that drone shot coming up on the boat that he's on that's driving by, you have the drone passing him and it's recording the whole time. I think that would really elevate a lot of videos on the internet in general, just having a drone in there. I mean, they're already using it in movies now. It's like YouTube's got to catch up. Come on.
Well, and the use of B-roll is phenomenal. Just it really helps with your storytelling, and that's one thing too that I'm going to be working on as well, is including more B-roll and telling a more compelling story, because I feel like that's what's going to separate me from the discount YouTubers that are doing car stuff.
Right.
Just kind of stepping up my game, but obviously like it involves so much more work with editing and stuff like that, because you got to get efficient with your thumbnails, you got to get efficient with video editing, and then you actually have to get efficient with taking the proper pictures and filming in the right angles for the cars, and then you have to pretend or either know what you're talking about. Otherwise you'll get people. I got shat on the other day by this one guy. He was like super specific into the car, and I'm like, dude, I don't really know that much about the car, but you're kind of like being a jerk right now. And you'll get a lot of people like that with cars, especially Jeep people. Jeep people are so unique and they're so specific. It's interesting.
Hey, now I'm a Jeep person myself.
No, I mean, like you would know every little in and out of the Jeep that you want. And so if somebody says something that's not exactly how you would say it, you'd be like, you have an inkling to correct them like immediately. No, that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about this,
Yeah, I'm not like that into, like, I have a Jeep Renegade myself, a 2015 Jeep Renegade, and of course I know my car. Like, I know how it drives and how it works. I know that, like, it seems like every 3 months I'm changing my battery in my car remote. But other than that, I mean, I don't know much into like, oh yeah, it's X amount of RP. I don't know that stuff. Like I'm just like, I drive the car for work. I drive it around, as long as it drives, as long as it turns on, I'm okay. I don't need to know, how many different screws are in the front bumper. I don't need to know that stuff myself personally.
Those off-roading guys are they're that meticulous.
Oh yeah, definitely. They'll put anything on a Jeep Renegade, or actually anything in general. Like, you want monster truck tires on that Jeep Renegade? I gotcha.
Oh yeah. So I think you would be classified as having a pavement princess.
Yeah, I'd be a pleb in the world of cars. Like, I know video games inside and out, but cars, not so much.
Oh man, dude, I love video games. I'm such an out of touch gamer right now, but I love video games.
Out of touch as in you don't have the latest stuff, or?
Out of touch as in between managing a YouTube channel, between being a full-time student, between running my own business, between being a husband, and between being a father.
Oh yeah.
I don't have time to play, video games, but I am a diehard Zelda fan. I've played every single Zelda game, and I've got a Zelda tattoo on me. I mean, like, was my first Zelda game, and then I went back and played A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, and all these different things on NES and with the emulators and stuff, and I played everything. And I am so excited because there is a refresh on A Link to the Past.
Link's Awakening is getting a remaster.
Link's Awakening, that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's what I meant. And it looks... So I'm going to be playing it.
Well, hey, will that be your first video game in a while then, or?
It'll be my first video game since Breath of the Wild came out.
Oh wow, that's almost over a year now.
Yeah. And so with Breath of the Wild, when that came out, my wife was pregnant, so I didn't have a kid just then.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was just starting my YouTube journey, and so I had a lot more time because I didn't know how to edit and I didn't know how to do proper thumbnails and everything. So everything was so quick. And the moment you start learning all these things, then all of a sudden all your time goes away.
So is that your wife in the learning how to drive stick shift in that one video from 8 months ago?
No, that's my friend. That's
okay.
One of my friends. But she's a very pretty girl, and I was like, you know what? Pretty girl on camera. Let's try it out, see if it helps. And I got decent views for me.
So me personally, I don't know how to drive stick yet, but how was it learning stick shift for you yourself?
okay, first off, it was something that I've always wanted to do. I just never had the opportunity to. So I've never like shied away from an opportunity. That was just literally the first time I had a chance to do that
Hmm.
as a 30-year-old man. And fun because you're so engaged in the process. I can see how the appeal is because you're just one with the car and you're telling it what to do. It's not like just doing it where you're just kind of driving, just kind of go. It's just like you're talking to the car, it's talking back to you, and it's a very cool relationship, but very scary to learn. And I would actually recommend everyone learn stick first and then drive automatic because you just never know
Hmm.
when you need to drive stick. But faux pas in the car place is not knowing how to drive. It's like you show up with this super cool car that's an automatic, and everyone looks at you like, "Oh, it's an automatic, dude." Like, "Oh, it's an automatic, bro. What are you even doing with your life?"
Hmm.
Unless you're driving a super high-end Ferrari or whatever. But then they're all automatic because the car is so enhanced that you cannot outshift.
Right.
You just can't, And so you can't outshift one of those cars, and so people don't give you junk because they don't make a manual version of it. But it's always manual. Manual is like the pedestal that you must achieve on every build or every brand.
So I wanted to talk to you about two Super Bowl commercials that were around during the Super Bowl, of course.
Sure.
I don't know why I said that. That's a really strange sentence. Yeah, you know those Super Bowl commercials around during the Super Bowl. But there was one by, I believe it was Audi, and they said that by like 2025 they wanted all their cars to be electric. And I know we already have Tesla kind of in the game a little bit right now, but how do you think that's going to happen? Do you think that that's plausible that they will have all electric cars by 2025?
100%. Yeah. The big push is to move to electric. So there's a couple things. All of the new high-end hypercars and supercars, they're all electric now. That is the platform.
Hmm.
And so moving to that, it's a more efficient type of fuel, right? Less emissions. That's a huge thing. But people don't understand and don't realize is that with an electric motor, you get power instantly to the wheels. Loss. So, like, with a normal car, you've got your engine, and then you step on the gas, and then the gas, the engine, with a transmission, it throws it back to the back wheels because it's a rear-wheel drive car most of the times, right?
Hmm.
And then the car takes off. So there's a drivetrain loss,
Hmm.
with the whole way that the car communicates. So with an electric motor and how that's set up, it is 100% instantaneous. So that's why like these Tesla Roadsters and these Tesla cars are just destroying naturally aspirated cars or even tuned cars or whatever that have gas powered engines.
Wow. Okay. I didn't
And
know that. Yeah.
they're coming out with electric turbos and electric superchargers and things like that. So that's a game changer because you're talking about instant power delivery.
Hmm.
It's like you get this car that's got a monster engine in it, but you can't deliver all the power to the wheels because there's not even enough traction to control it with how
Wow.
forward.
Yeah.
But with the electric cars, they're lighter too.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that happening because you
That
don't need
much.
the giant all the mechanics for like combustion and stuff like that.
Right. And so it's just an interesting time. But my biggest pet peeve, not pet peeve, I keep saying pet peeve, but my biggest gripe,
Hmm.
no sound. The sound element is
Yeah.
you're having this like amazing Prius. It's like that's a Prius electric car. But there's like no sound to it. Like the Audi R8 speakers that emulate sound in
Really?
the car.
No way.
All right, the i8,
Seems kind of
whatever,
fake.
like the yeah, like actually the GTIs do that as well.
Oh,
The
really?
Volkswagen GTIs, when you
Huh.
drive them, yeah, they've got in the speakers that come out, they've got a exhaust sound that kind of make the driver feel like the car's louder than it actually is.
Right.
I mean, it's so interesting, the whole shift. So just viability, it's going to happen, but I just don't know how they're going to compensate for the sound. So you're going to have purists, you're
Hmm.
going to have people that are going to be like, no, you just can't beat the sound. And I'm one of those guys where the sound is important, especially with iconic cars. Like you'll have a Camaro, you have a Mustang, you have a Corvette, you'll have a Charger, Challenger, and driving that with the feel that you want without the sound is like a missing part of your relationship. It's like your loved one having a coma and you can never like talk to them the way you talked to them before. I mean, they're there, but you just don't have that relationship anymore.
Right. Yeah.
It's sad.
So the other commercial I wanted to talk to you about from the Super Bowl was one from Kia, and they had this very emotional video with kids and people working and all that stuff. And then a Kia, a big SUV type Kia, splashes through a lake, and at the bottom it says in large text, "Do not attempt." Is that false advertising? And also, what the fuck was with that commercial?
I honestly have no freaking clue. I mean, so obviously it's an SUV and they're kind of a family off-road vehicle, but don't attempt. But it's almost like I dare you. It's the come at me, bro. Maybe that's their version of come at me, bro.
Oh, okay.
He's doing something just a little different because it's like don't try this at home. That's the first thing you want to do.
Right.
I mean, if I say, hey, this is a Tide Pod, put it in your mouth. Don't try this at home. I'm going to put a Tide Pod in my mouth. You would think warning labels mean something, but they're just a challenge.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I guess so. All right.
Assumption. Well, hey. Oh, yeah, I would prove you wrong.
That is all the time we have today with BLP3 Motors, a.k.a. Phil. I just want to thank him one more time for coming on the podcast, talking about his channel, cars, and all that stuff. And also, like I said, you can check out his channel. Links will be in the description below, including YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And then also at the end cards on this podcast, we'll also have his YouTube link and his latest video, whichever that will be the week that the podcast comes out. Phil, is there anything else you want to say before we end the podcast?
Yemmy, hey man, I appreciate you having me. I appreciate the conversation. Thank you to all your viewers who are watching this whenever you do that. I just appreciate the chance to hang out with all of you, and I look forward to interacting with everybody and just kind of being a part of your community.
Well, yeah, it's going to be awesome. Hopefully people are interested in the car talk, because I am personally, even though I'm not a car guy. It's like, it's nice to hear people who are more educated than you on these things talk about their thoughts on specific things, and it's always nice to hear a fresh new take on the Jeep on the Jeep side of things.
Well, on the Jeep side, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely no expert, but my point of view at the end of the day is I'm an average Joe with a love for cars, and I'm bringing that perspective to the channel. And if I learn something along the way, then I learned something along the way.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, I am your host, Yemmy the Ferret, and this has been the Ferret Business Podcast.